Have you ever just finished work and sat down at your computer to silently brood over your Steam library, unsure if you want to commit to playing a game when a new season of
your favorite show
is out? Well, why not do both? While more action-oriented and mentally demanding games occupy plenty of space in my Steam library, I've always had a soft spot in my heart for games that just let you decompress after a long day by doing a fun, simple, and repetitive activity, while being able to listen to or watch something else in the background. What was once switching between a RuneScape tab and Yogscast videos in high school has evolved into playing games like Warframe, Elite Dangerous, ETS2, and the topic of today's video, American Truck Simulator, while having Twitch streams or Netflix on my second monitor. Seeing how it's been a year since I published my very first video for the channel on Euro Truck Simulator 2, I thought it would only be fitting that we celebrate the occasion with a review for American Truck Simulator. Now I have to say in truth that I kinda struggled with the best method to go about this review, since the game is so mechanically similar to ETS2. Most of the mechanics are basically identical. The basic driving gameplay, the leveling system, the way you manage garages and drivers, even the way the DLC is handled, it's all very similar. So similar that I couldn't even really call this game a sequel to ETS2, especially since that game is still actively being worked on. American Truck Sim is more like a sibling of ETS2 rather than a descendant. And as any younger sibling knows, it's quite hard to escape comparison to your elders, and I won't be bucking that trend in this video. So if you would like a more in-depth look at the basic mechanics, and this is only a slightly shameless self-promotion, go watch my Euro Truck Simulator 2 video for more detail on them. In this video I'm going to focus on a basic overview of American Truck Simulator and how it compares to ETS2. Alright, now let's get into it. I've spent enough time flapping my mouth. So as a basic overview, in ATS, the main minute-to-minute gameplay consists of taking and completing deliveries across the western United States. When you start the game, you don't even have your own truck, needing to have one given to you each mission by the company you're working for. But as you build up your bank, you'll eventually be able to purchase and upgrade your own truck, which lets you take a larger cut of the profit and gives you more control over your deliveries, but also means you'll pay more in repair costs if you mess up. Not like I'd know anything about that, of course. As you complete deliveries, you will also gain experience that will let you put points into 6 different skills that unlock new, more lucrative mission types. Once again, long distance is the best, and eco-driving is poopy doo-doo. With your newfound wealth or an ill-advised bank loan, you can also expand your trucking empire by buying garages and hiring drivers. Once you've set them up with a truck, they will automatically go out and generate fat stacks of cash for you. Just like in ETS2, these drivers will slowly level up, increasing their skills and ability to generate cash. The DLC for this game is also organized in the same way as ETS2, with some of them almost being carbon copies like the cabin accessories DLC. You have your cosmetic DLCs, your DLCs that add some new mission types, and le creme de la creme, the map DLCs. These add new regions for you to drive your fancy toys through. New sights, new sounds, and destinations. The difference here is that instead of new countries or regions, each DLC adds a new US state. As of right now, this map shows all the states that are in-game. The base game contains California and Nevada, with Arizona being offered as free DLC, and the paid DLC states released as of this video are Wyoming, Colorado, Idaho, Utah, Washington, Oregon, and New Mexico, with Montana and Texas currently in development. I don't have all the map DLC for this game, but from what I've seen, the level of detail put into each is good and comparable to the DLC of ETS2. So, what is different from ETS2? Well, there's the obvious. You're in America, and you're driving American trucks. The different trucks feel great, just as they did in ETS2, but the different design and handling of the American-style trucks makes for a nice change of pace. Also, since America is a lot less dense than Europe, the length of the roads and the length between cities tends to feel a lot higher as well. Since the game is a bit newer, it also tends to look better, at least for me, right out of the box, while performing only a little worse due to it. I typically get around 70 to 90 FPS. If you're interested in the specs of my system, they'll be in the description. I particularly like how it has some very large and nicely designed urban areas. It seems to me like the base ETS2 is kind of afraid of going deep into very recognizable locations, and the cities tend to feel very scaled down, like you're just on the outskirts. And a lot of them tend to look very similar. In ATS, the big cities feel a lot larger and more distinct. I mean, check out the side streets of San Francisco here. It actually looks and feels like you're driving through a real city here. You just don't get this in ETS2's base game. Simply because the game is newer, one of the downsides is that it has less side content available from the get-go than its sibling. ETS2 just has so many more mods available because it's the first kid on the block. Truckers MP, for example, supports ATS, but as I mentioned in my Truckers MP video, the population is very low compared to the ETS2 servers. However, in terms of official side content like DLC, SCS Software has worked hard to close the gap between the two games, with relatively similar amounts of DLC in all categories. The last major difference I want to talk about is the changes to how repair costs work. In ETS2, the repairman will slap you with his meaty full price, but in ATS, when you go in for repairs, a large portion of it is covered by your insurance, with you only having to pay a fraction of the cost. This makes the early game a lot more forgiving, as in ETS2, if you took a nasty crash, the costs could erase a few deliveries of progress. Another benefit is that it rewards consistently good driving while punishing consistently bad driving. You see the percentage here? That goes up the more you crash and make mistakes. I wish I could be more specific, but the game is pretty fucking awful at explaining things like this, and there's no wiki to look it up. I did some research, and some people say driving infractions like sleep deprivation infraction, headlight usage infraction affect it. Some say it just goes up every time you repair, others say it goes up based on how much damage you repair. So I can't really tell you how the mechanic works exactly, but either way, woo, drive good, spend less. I suppose this is also a good time to talk about the convoy mode that has been added to both ATS and ETS2 since I made my first video. This is an official multiplayer mode that allows you to group up with up to 7 other people and truck together within the game. When in convoy mode, some aspects of the game are changed for quality of life. For example, areas multiple players may need to enter become non-collision zones, such as delivery areas. You can choose the same job as a member of your convoy easily through the menus. Another example is that the map button brings up a sweet overlay that doesn't pause the game. Honestly, I wish this last one was a toggleable feature in single player because it's clean, easy to read, and it doesn't make you pause your game like the default map. The mode also comes with built-in VoIP that allows you to easily communicate with other players, and even has a bit of built-in static and the radio beeps that you'd get on a normal radio in order to increase immersion. One downside to this mode is that if you don't have all the DLC, you might have trouble playing with those who do, and are doing missions in zones that you don't have unlocked, as these areas and jobs to and from them will still be inaccessible. Another thing is that it can be rather hit or miss whether, when playing with randoms, that you actually get into a lobby where you can drive near somebody, which is the point of the whole experience. If you don't take a mission at the same time as the other players, there isn't much of a way to catch up to them unless they slow down or wait for you. In my opinion, this mode is probably best played with a group of friends that you'll have an easier time coordinating with. Now, addressing the elephant in the room, yes, this is basically SCS Software's response to the massively popular mod that I mentioned earlier in the video, Truckers MP, that lets you play ETS2 or ATS multiplayer with others. However, I think these both can coexist as they have their own positives and negatives. While Truckers MP lets you play with thousands of truckers, the cost of this is that they needed to remove AI in order for it to mechanically work, and this takes away a lot of the immersion. On the other hand, if you have some friends who all want to play ATS together, Convoy mode lets you easily group up and play together in the base game with full AI and quality of life features like the aforementioned ability to share jobs that Truckers MP lacks. Overall, it's a great feature to have, and I hope they keep on adding to it. When it comes to simulation games, ATS really has something for everyone. Its variety of settings allow for both hardcore and casual playstyles. I tend towards the latter, using a simple knockoff Xbox controller. I'm not super knowledgeable about trucks or even cars IRL, but I find the trucksim gameplay loop very relaxing. While the game is open-ended and allows you to pursue any goal you would like, it really incentivizes the moment-to-moment gameplay. Sure, you can build a maxed out garage in every city and have hundreds of drivers, or you can just work by yourself to earn money, but either way, you will soon reach a point where money is no longer much concern and you've unlocked most of the upgrades that you want. So rather than coming back time and time again to the game for the sense of progression, I feel like the main draw of the game is just the solid and comfortable moment-to-moment gameplay. It's like that one snack you like to eat that isn't the most flashy thing in the grocery store aisle, but every time you buy it, you know you're going to enjoy eating it. The way I see it, if you liked ETS2 and you're looking for more trucking content, this is a great buy. Similarly, if you're into American trucking and haven't tried a SCS Software truck sim yet, or just want a chill game to play while watching movies, this is a great jumping off point for the genre. 11 out of 10 would knock a bus full of old people off the road again. Now, to wrap it up here, I just want to thank every single one of you for watching this video. If you're new here, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you'd like to see more, consider pressing the like button or subscribing. If you're a longtime viewer or sub, thanks for sticking around and showing interest in my content. Honestly, when I started this channel a year ago, I had no idea of what to expect. If you told me that I would have over 500 subscribers by now, I honestly wouldn't have believed you. The whole project of working on this channel has been a lot of work, but honestly one of the most fun and rewarding experiences ever. I've had so much fun learning new skills like video editing, scripting, making thumbnails, how to record and tweak my audio. Okay, well, that one isn't fun, it's hell, but a necessary hell. And despite all the flops and mistakes, it feels good to be able to go back to my old videos and see how far I've come, and how much I've improved. But honestly, the best thing of all, and I swear I'm being real with you guys even though this is gonna come off super cheesy, is seeing that people like my videos. Every time I wake up and see a new comment telling me that a video of mine was funny, informative, or well edited, it just really makes me feel good. So once again, thank you all for joining me, and here's to a good 2022. See you again soon.